Sure,
I'm so
absolutely.
grateful for what you've presented and how you organize the information. It's just, yeah, it's so good. So I'm glad, yeah, one of the best investments I made in the past 3 years.
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much for
You're
saying that.
welcome.
Alrighty, this is my great friend Loncen, and I am so happy to be interviewing him today. I am super stoked, and he's one of my favorite. He's an embodiment coach. I mean, I don't know what he does exactly. I'll let him speak, but for me, he is someone who works with energy and helps people embody what they really want to be, what they are originally meant to be, and he helps them move them further into their higher purpose. This is all that it means to me. Over to you, Lance, and if you can please introduce yourself for in like one line. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Loncen, and I'm an embodiment coach and transformational facilitator of different processes to help people really anchor into their destiny, what they are actually here to partake, but in a way that is creative. You know, a lot of people follow systems whereby they have to give up a big part of themselves or a part of themselves in order to mesh in with these systems. And I kind of do it very differently in that we come from inside of them and branch out from there. So, yeah, I'm excited to be doing this call today because of just the amount of help that I've received from Hamani and just the changes it's done. So thank you, Hamani.
Thank you so much for being here. It's such an exciting call to be talking to you. It's always a pleasure. So I have some very simple things to ask of you. One is, I mean, I see that you and I have known each other for a fairly long period of time. You've
Yeah,
always, I've seen you as one person who's always actioned the information that you've received. You've gone through a whole lot of content from my world, and you've
yeah,
always come back, always stayed in touch with me, always spoken to me, always
yeah,
shared your wins with me,
yeah,
even if it was from a free piece of content and so on.
yeah,
Um, I don't know how many workshops or masterminds of mine you may have attended. I don't know. A couple of them
yeah.
possibly
I
as
think
well.
I've done three of them, and
Wow.
then
Okay.
with
And
this
it's not
latest
like I do
one,
a
yeah,
whole lot. Yeah. So I'm
yeah,
also,
yeah,
yeah. So which means you've really, really felt the connect with me and my work over a pretty
yeah,
long period
yeah,
of
yeah,
time. So my
yeah,
question is, what took you so long? What exactly took you so long to
yeah.
finally sign
Well,
up for one of my offers and my programs?
yeah, well, and I mean, it wasn't specific to you, but I mean, I've been in this transformational development world since 2016, and I've been through a few programs. You know, some of them initially I would jump into these programs really quickly and end up disappointed because what they were claiming at the beginning of the program and all of the good things that they promised were either not, they fell short of it, or it was metered. In other words, it was like, okay, you get one call, 30 minutes with me, and in that time, we're going to solve all of this stuff. So, I felt a little bit just sick of the whole industry, the whole marketing industry, to be honest with you, and just how it was being done. But then I came across you, and I think what set you apart was actually our initial DM conversation because you know I I can't remember what I said to you, but I was challenging you in some way, and you were able to meet me and clear up some of the the inconsistencies in how I was engaging with the marketing world and how you were presenting it, which was to me felt like from this place of truth and transparency, and that was a big thing.
So what I'm
Go ahead.
hearing here is that I know we connected first time in our DMs when I was reaching out to you for something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I know it took me a while I mean, we had a pretty long conversation back and forth, starting from a little bit of
yeah,
resistance to a polite, but definitely some kind of resistance. Um,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
turning into something absolutely heart touching, beautiful.
yeah,
What I'm hearing here is that it was the first thing that touched you was the style of marketing, and possibly what you saw is something else which is not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but something possibly that was there but was not pushy, that felt more authentic, that felt more real, and it kind of
100%.
made something on those lines where you felt that maybe I also want to do something like this. Is that
Yeah.
what it was for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, well, 100%, because it's like, like basically in my business, it is all about authenticity, with the different clients that I engage with. And so with what you presented and how you presented, it was very truthful and direct. You didn't mince words. You weren't like trying to make it into something that it wasn't. It's like, no, this is the case. This is how it is. These are parts of the process that have to happen. And, you can't have a successful business without it. And I think the frankness with which you delivered that message, something about it hit home, because it went right through the illusion of what I was used to and how I was used to dealing with these people, that it was like, okay, there's a truth here. There's something, really honest and genuine about how she's presenting this.
Nice. Thank you for saying that. And then you
Yeah.
eventually took your time, but then you kind of very happily signed up for something which is very, very close to my heart. It's called the Strategy Portal, which is basically
Yeah.
a ticket
100%.
to freedom for coaches, is how I like to call it. And
Yeah.
then I think you've gone through quite a bit of the whole
Yeah.
program already.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so my question is, basis all these years of experience, I know you've spent like a whole lot of cash on a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
and yeah, and this is like an entry level program right now. It's a sales program, but at the same time, it's very, 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 very entry level at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so my question is there
Yep.
something that you found that you felt shifted beyond what you didn't even know even existed?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, okay, so there's a few things, but the biggest one was in one of the first videos, you were talking about how each element of your process and program should be talking to one another. And that, a lot of coaches, whenever they put stuff out, it's just like all of these different things, and you just keep putting stuff out, but none of them, there's no cohesiveness in amongst the system. And that really hit me deeply, because that was the case for me. I have different offerings, but the offerings aren't, we're not tied into one another. So that had me going deeper and doing some very deep reflection about how I could tie them in. And from that, I came up with like this whole amazing system that now, and that's very personalized too, to the different clients that come on board. So you've inspired me. Even like I'll do a welcome video specific to that person and put it actually on my landing page so that they could see that it's addressed to them, and then different phases that they go through. So that was really good. And just the simpleness in your process and how you laid it out. I'm really good at the creativity and coming up with the ideas, and putting together different workshops that are very impactful. But as far as the back end business stuff, it wasn't solid. And so what you've helped me to do is to strengthen up my back end now, to where it's like, okay, now I could see myself having a foundation that I could be proud of. And it doesn't require me touching all of these different people at all of these different points, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but actually, having the system, which leads to the second point that you really helped me to anchor into, something that was revolutionary to me. But this one blew my mind, where you were saying that the whole process itself should be selling the clients, and not having it have to be up to me all the time to be in front of them. And that was like mind blowing. It was like, holy shit, you mean like I don't have to be in front of them to be doing all of these parts and points? And yeah. So as I'm building that out and experimenting, that's the exciting part for me, is that you can actually build something, create an entity that does all of these things, that you don't have to be the one man show, one man band with playing all of these different instruments, hoping to get somebody on board, only to be tired at the end of the day, and then resenting it, So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's like so beautifully put out. But I think some bit of credit needs to be given to the softwares because they really help us do that kind of stuff where we
yeah,
can automate
100%.
like
That's true.
once we know the pieces and we put some sanity into them and put some structure to the whole process, then all we got
Yeah,
to do is, of course, tweak it and keep making it better, of course. But at the same time,
yeah,
we can use technology to automate like a big part of it. And since the whole process has been designed together along with automation and AI and technology and strategy and scripts and everything talks to each other. I think that really. Do you think you would be able to save like I don't know how much time once everything is up and running for you as compared
yeah.
to
Well,
earlier?
already it's saved time because it's changed. Even, I mean, there's some behavioral changes that are a part of the process too. That like for me were the sticking points because I think I was so used to doing things, having to get on calls with everybody. But what I'm seeing now through this process is I don't have to, and so there's almost like this retraining of my behavior to just not do the thing that I always did do because that's the way I did it, but to actually, okay, now see how I can design the system to do those same things.
I have
And
always said that I don't teach mindset. And I've
yeah,
always said something super radical in all my workshops. I've screamed at the top of my lungs. I don't know how much it lands
yeah,
amongst my people. And I've said that when I've said two things. One is that or the selling process is 100% a process, a step by step process, and it's learnable, number one, which
yeah,
people don't understand. They think it's a mindset work and it's this. And the other thing I've said is when you start getting sales or you start increasing your sales or you find some flow getting into your selling process in your business, your mindset shifts automatically.
yeah,
What would
100%.
you
Yeah.
what would you
Well,
say about that after going through the
yeah,
strategy portal?
yeah. Well, and the brilliant piece behind it is that because you're designing the structure ahead of time and it's like you're putting all of these pieces in place, it's just natural that your mindset follows what you're creating in front of you. So, it's like why wouldn't you follow what you put in place and all of these pieces and then just see how measure how they're working versus just going out creating something and then going and creating something else. That's how you looking back, that's how I created this very disjointed system is because it's like putting up fires. What is needed where, you go and you do it. Whereas now, through going through your process, what it's teaching me to do is like map it out first, see how the process goes, and then be able to see what the measurable pieces are in it so that it's like over time you can really anchor into what's working, what isn't. I mean, it's so simple, but at the same time,
It is very,
it's
very
easy.
powerful. It's very, very
You're
powerful.
100%.
Most businesses, even the ones that say that they're doing very well, don't have it.
Yeah, 100.
It's a
Well,
very six-figure, seven-figure, eight-figure thing as well. I mean, even though
yeah,
it
yeah,
applies to pretty much everyone, but I
yeah,
mean, it'll be wrong to assume that such a simple system is in place
yeah.
in businesses because I work very closely with those guys as well. I know it's not there.
Mm. Well, and I think what the strategy portal does is it really like you do amazing at simplifying the process and making it enjoyable, like where
I love it.
I went to like I mean I've taken marketing through schooling. I took a business plan development course that was like over a year long. And I mean, you're basically doing the same thing, which is helping to structure the ideas, the processes before. But the way you do it is so simplified that it's like it doesn't take a lot of brain work. It's just like looking at a few key pieces and refining those over time. And it's like before when I was going through those processes, I like, oh, it was like tying my brain up. I would have to set aside, I would go to the library and just like lock myself off from the world just to focus on some of these key pieces. But because of how you framed it and so simply, it's just like, okay, I have it set up in this mind map now. I just go and I look at it. Okay, where am I now? I just keep adding to those pieces and then what is ready to experiment with. It's so good. So,
honestly sounding like a magician who's found these little missing pieces and gaps, and you're like fill them up, and
oh
you're
my
like
God.
now it's
Yeah,
all flowing. I like
yeah,
as I
yeah,
like to call it in my sales language, and I'm like, I unclog pipelines so that I can shove in more flow, more
yes,
people into that, and they start flowing and becomes widened, and all the clogging is just like almost like a bathroom drainage pipe. Like I almost
yeah.
take the Trorex and just kind of open it up, and that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and it's just like what you've taught me is like, you have to have the framework in place first. Like what is the raw skeleton of what you're creating? And, what are the components that bring that together? And, how can you do that in a powerful way that is engaging for people and, you're communicating with them such that it's building connection with the right people and not being afraid to let go of the wrong ones. And that's the other piece that came through too. It's just I think I was holding on to a lot of connections that weren't bearing any fruit and scared to let them go because what did it mean for me having a shrinking pool? But what I'm seeing now is no, it's more effective to have the right people on board
So
than the ones that aren't.
I'm hearing qualifying people
Yeah,
as
100%.
becoming and
Yeah,
becoming.
yeah.
I talk about that word in every step, every shape, every form, everywhere.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so good. So, yeah, I feel like, like last year at this time, I had a bunch of offers. Um, my main, I was really relying on putting out information and attracting people that way. And I mean, although I did good at it, now I'm seeing the potential to go even farther because now it's like, okay, aside from it's not about me running out all the time and doing something, but it's relying on the structure that I'm creating in the background. And,
And
so
you
there's,
can completely sit back and relax and enjoy and watch it work its magic out right in front of you.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
only get to talk
exactly.
to people once they
Yeah,
are A, qualified, B, they get warmed up, and C, they
yeah,
choose to work together with you. So they qualify themselves and they reach out to you, and then you get to speak to them. And how amazing is
yeah,
that?
yeah, 100%. Yeah. So,
Can we do a little fun rapid fire, like scaling these few things on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest
yeah, yeah,
of about the program? So just make it fun and quick.
yeah. Okay.
You excited about that?
Yeah, please, let's do it.
Okay. So number one, we've spoken about it, but simplicity of the process. If you can rate it for me on a scale of 1 to 10, please.
Yeah, 10, definitely 10.
I mean, you don't have to say it because I'm
No, no, no,
right
no, no, no. I know,
front
I
of
know. I'm,
you.
I'm saying 10 because of what I've been through before. I'm not just bullshitting. And the beauty of it is because I could pull back from that and I go into my own process of like reflection, meditation, and then it's also new pieces come in that I could plug into the system that you created. So yeah, no, that is the piece for me that has been revolutionary. In
Okay, great.
comparison,
The
I
next
went through
is
a program.
ease
Go
of
ahead.
implementation, if you could rate that, ease of implementation, because I mean, you don't even get to speak to me until unless you get to reach a certain
Yeah,
point. So
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
calls happen later. So during that
Yeah,
time,
ease of implementation. Yes. That I would say is fairly high too. I'd say it's an 8.
great, great.
Yeah.
Quality of the information given, I think it's about 8.5 hours of content already. So how do
Yeah,
you rate the
quality
quality?
is awesome. Yeah, quality is 10 too.
Thank you. Access to me, metered or not, access to me and my inputs.
Yeah, I haven't really had a lot of that, so I'd say about an 8 right now. But at the same time, yeah, I understand the process and how you laid it out. So, but it's good.
I would love to know also just on a scale of 1 to 10, the
Yeah.
pricing of the program vis-a-vis, since you have spent
Oh
a
yeah,
lot on different
100%.
programs. I'm
Yeah,
only talking about other sales coaching programs, not business coaching programs. They're like
yeah,
they're like a world apart. So
yeah,
how would you
yeah,
rate
yeah,
it on a scale of 1 to 10?
yeah. I'd say 10, absolutely, because of how you've laid out the information. As not to compare it, but actually, yeah, like the last program I went to, it was $10,000 and there was like 20 different modules. You had to get on these coaching calls once a week that a lot of them didn't have to do. They more dealt with bigger business than where I was at. So I didn't really feel like a lot of it applied to me. And yeah, it wasn't so simple, straightforward, and quick to pick up. So 10.
Okay. The next question is for, we have our business-minded friends who do calculations. They calculate their, bless you, who
Thank you.
calculate their ROI and return on investment and stuff like that. There are people like that. All of us operate a little differently. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. So, according to you, if someone went through this process, do you
Yeah.
think, I mean, how fast do you think they could potentially get towards their goals after going through the trainings inside the strategy portal as compared to otherwise?
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, I've already made back the investment that I invested into the training. So yeah, I mean, it's all. I mean, it depends how quickly they want to go through the information and apply it, right? So I would say a couple months, 2, 3 months, because there is a lot of refining what was done already, and sometimes it's about starting from zero again to just get everything anchored in. And but I mean, yeah, you laid out very simply. So if they're diligent and they're focused on it, I'd say 2 to 3 months.
Great. I've been calling it a 30-day sprint, but then I always know that the different people will work, will need different inputs and will go at their own pace depending upon what they need.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
great. Any last words, maybe something about me? I mean, you don't have to be nice to me because I'm here,
yeah.
but
No, no.
any,
Well, yeah, no. I mean, Manny, like you are a trusted person in my circle, and that
thank you.
will never change. There's a lot of people out there that they give to get, and I know, although I understand it, and I know that's how a lot of business works. What you and I share is that we come from this truthful place of genuine service for the right people that are willing to engage at the level that we're engaging at. And so, that's something I've always appreciated about you. And,
Thank you.
although you're very firm on what needs to happen as you go through your process, but you're not pushy. And I really appreciate that about you.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's a lot of people, it's like when they do things, it's really about they're looking for what they can gain and it's self-promotion and all of that. But with you, I've always found that it's about the process, the service, and like I could feel your heart in your work. So it was never like I said, it's just one you have a valued seat at my table. So thank you.
I appreciate that. It was really nice, fun talking to you. And perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.